Consider India's current status on multiple parameters and they will be the envy of much of the world. The world's fastest growing large economy with little chance of recession, a global leader in startups, favourable demographics, its GDP on a march, overtaking one nation after another, and one of the world's leaders in remittance receipts, and much more. Sadly, none of these can cover some of our blots on an otherwise pretty picture. Look at Manipur, or Kerala, or the whole of India to see what is tripping us. 90,000 startups in the last 9 years, 23 unicorns in 2022 alone, 480 million millennials, 380 million Gen Zers. What better launchpad can any country be standing on? And yet, why are we a nation which is always pregnant with possibilities and potential but never quite reaching there? Different reasons, like Manipur with its ethnic and religious clashes. There are multiple ways to destroy an otherwise peaceful and progressive society. Hatred is one which is playing out in Manipur. Come to think of it, Manipur has a population of only 3.5 million people. That would be the number of people in a single district, in any medium-sized district in any large Indian state. But even the Indian army has been unable to put down trouble in Manipur. Of course, it is not the USP of any army to drive out hatred and spread love. Hatred has gone so far and things have gone so much out of hand that India's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, RK Ranjan Singh, said quite plainly that the law and order situation in Manipur has failed. I never expect such attitude or activities from my fellow citizens, he said, after his own house in Manipur was torched. That's what hatred can do. What's the immediate fallout? Thousands of Manipuris are fleeing the state and pouring into Mizoram, leading to a refugee crisis in Mizoram. Already 1,500 odd students from Manipur have enrolled in schools in Mizoram. 2 days from now, it will be 2 full months since Manipur's administration collapsed. Try telling the Manipuris that India is doing extremely well and that we have overtaken UK as the 5th largest economy in the world. Second, Kerala, its unions and higher education. In an India that is apparently marching ahead, Kerala has 2 pain points, both of which played out over the past week. Trade unions that decide how businesses should be run, and a higher education system that is somewhere between dreadful and dishonorable. First, a Kerala union at work, not regular work, but working against a business owner. Raj Mohan Kaimal, a small-time bus operator in Kottayam district, Kerala, was harassed and threatened by trade union members last week and finally beaten up. When the trade union members stopped one of his buses from plying and put party flags on them, the gutsy ex-army man and ex-Gulf returnee refused to give up and started selling lottery tickets in front of the bus. When he finally got a High Court order to resume his bus service under police protection, he was beaten up in front of policemen. Perhaps Kerala's unions don't care for the High Court. But worse, no one seems to have asked the district collector or the SP why a businessman had to suffer an assault in front of policemen. Raj Mohan Kaimal called out all of Kerala for the combined silence during his harrowing experience. I only want to say one thing to the public. We should be ashamed and bow down our heads. This is a situation faced by a commoner and one who fights for justice, he said. Kerala's higher education competes against itself to plumb new lows. The latest is a trend among some of Kerala's student union leaders to get fake degree certificates and fake experience certificates. Naturally, Kerala's teenagers are now leaving the state by the thousands for higher education abroad. And the likelihood of Kerala's colleges shutting down for lack of students seems a possibility nearer than ever. That takes us to the national picture of an India of 2023 haunted by history and joblessness. History first. Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb died in March 1707. A good 316 years later, his poster or his face as social media status can trigger instant riots in 21st century India. When he was alive, the Mughal Empire was a threat to the Marathas. 3 centuries after his death, his ghost seems to be a threat to all of India. On the jobs front, an estimated 286 million people in India are seeking jobs. a country in which 94% of the workers are in the unorganized sector. The enormity of the challenge will frighten any policymaker. In the backdrop of such bleak prospects, it should be no surprise that 1.6 million Indians renounced their citizenship in the last 10 years and 70,000 gave up their Indian passports. But what is most agonizing and disagreeable is how those in authority are able to maintain a stoic silence through all this. We'd like to hear from the President, the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, and the Governor and Chief Minister of Manipur when that state burns, but all we get to hear is that there is an internet shutdown. When a businessman armed with a High Court order to resume his bus service under police protection is assaulted in full public glare in front of policemen, it is shocking how all authorities from the Governor, Chief Minister and Home Minister to the Industry Minister and the District Administration can all keep silent and not have to offer any explanation for their combined failure. Reminds one of a quote by Jewish theologian Abraham Joshua Heschel. In a free society, all are involved in what some are doing. Some are guilty, all are responsible. Let me leave you with something more appetizing than the state of affairs around us. Taste Atlas's latest list of 150 most legendary restaurants in the world is out. Scroll down that list and you see two Indian restaurants at ranks 11 and 12. At number 11 is Paragon, Kozhikode, Kerala for its Malabar biryani, and at rank 12 is Tunde Kebab, Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh for its Galoti kebabs. Bon appetit!